Hey guys, welcome to my Valorant tier list 2023 including Deadlock. Keep in mind every agent is good in their own ways if you know how to use them. Now let's start the video. Astrid abilities are met and they're also kind hard to utilize. Her abilities require a lot of brain cells since every ability needs it to be planted and manually activated. In my opinion it's a D tier, maybe B tier for smart people, but I'm not smart lol. Breach is I tier for teammates, D tier for enemies. His abilities are easy to control and his abilities include stunning enemies, blinding enemies, and hitting enemies with a weak explosion, and his abilities can go through walls. For these reasons, I tier. Brimstone is B tier because his abilities are kind of skillful. His ultimate and smokes require map knowledge. His Molly can be really useful too as it is Phoenix Flames but does more damage and lasts longer, but it doesn't heal. Brimstone could be I tier, you know how to use him. He is also like Astrid where you have to plant your smokes and manually activate them. Sadly Chamber is B tier after his recent nerfs. Before his nerf he would be S tier and probably classified as the best agent in the game. He used to have a sniper that does the same damage as an operator and can scope in a matter of a millisecond, but now it is around 1 second to scope, and his other abilities got nerfed too. Cypher is I tier. His abilities can know if someone is flanking and you can know where somebody is using tripwire because it marks them. He also has this camera that you can place to watch other areas you can't see when holding sites, and the camera also marks people. His ultimate literally reveals every enemy's location around 3 times for a short duration, but you need an enemy dead body to use the ultimate. Deadlock got released this update. She is I tier because she has an ability like Sage's wall, but you can shoot through it but can't go through it unless you break it, and it is harder to break. She also has 2 sensor that slows enemies. She has an ability like Fade where you trap enemies in an area but they can get out of it by holding down a button and it doesn't do damage or deafens them. And her ultimate shoots a projectile like rays and it insta-kills enemies if their teammate don't shoot them out in time. Gecko is B tier because there are better options. He has AA ability where he throws something in the sky but you can break it and it shoots out a sticky substance on your face. AO pause but you get blinded for a few seconds, and he has a time bomb technically, and he has a person that can plant defuse or blind for him, and his ultimate summons an animal like Sky's dogs and it stuns them as in no weapon, no nothing for about 10 seconds. Harbor is D tier. His abilities are all smokes and his ultimate is just a stun. He requires a lot of map knowledge. His ability aren't great and he could be better. The good thing about him is that he can create walls like Phoenix where you can shape them, and when enemies try to walk through his smoke they get slowed for a second. Overall D tier. Fade is really good if you know how to use her. She has abilities like Deadlock, Cypher, and Sova. She has an ability where she can throw a ball to track enemies who are in the open but they can break it easily. She also leaves a trail to reveal where enemies went if they got marked, and also her Prowler, which is like Sky Dogs, can follow the trail and they don't disappear unless destroyed. She has an ability where you trap enemies, deafen and decay them, and they can't break out until the ability is over. Her ultimate literally summons an ability like Reach where it goes through walls, damage them, deafens them, and it has a massive AoE. For this reason, a tier. Jet is our first S tier. She is good for a starter because she has easy abilities. She has 2 smokes, a move that allows you to move upward in a dash which can help you escape combat or gain distance. She has a passive where you hold down space, she makes it so she fall down more slowly. Her ultimate includes knives. It does 50 damage each and no recoil. It has a single knife attack and an attack that throws 3 knives. If you kill someone with single knife it reset the knives, but not with that. Triple knives. You have 5 knives when you use the ability, so S tier. KO is S tier because he has a projectile which he can't throw to disable enemies' abilities for a few seconds, and it has a big radius, but it can be destroyed. He has a grenade that explodes about 5 times, but it sticks to the ground and has a small radius, and the closer the enemy is to the center the more deadly. He has a flashbang, and his ultimate cancels every enemy's abilities for 4 seconds every they enter the ultimate zone. His ultimate radius can cover the whole site. Killjoy is B tier. She requires map knowledge and you need to be smart. She has a robot who detects and do small damage to enemies but can be destroyed. She has a sensor to detect enemies, a manually activated grenade thingy like KO, and her ULT is like Gecko ULT where it stuns enemies, but it is a ticking time bomb and has a bigger AoE. She could probably be higher if her ULT was faster and her robot does more damage, but she is B tier. Neon is C tier. She is really good for a duelist. She has the ability to run faster and slide, has an ability that stuns and a wall of smoke. Her ultimate is like Jet's ultimate, but instead of knives it's lasers. She is basically a bootleg Jet but with worse abilities. She is good for new players but later she is not that good, could be better, but C tier. Omen is S tier. His smokes, teleport and blinds are really good considering his ultimate can teleport him anywhere on the map, and I like how you can use his smoke. The smokes can go walls and it can travel really far so you can send smokes from site to site. Phoenix is actually B tier lol. I had to put something in C tier so Neon wouldn't be lonely. He is good because his ultimate basically gives you 2 lives. He has 2 flashes and a smoke wall that deals damage. His abilities can heal him. He is B tier, but low B tier there are better options. Raze is B tier because she is good for starters and good for higher ranks. She has a grenade that can possibly one-shot multiple enemies. Her ultimate one-shots anybody no matter the health. and she has a weak explosion that is a ticking time bomb where you can manually activate it to deal small damage, and it only damages the enemies, not you and your team. Mainly it is used for movement since it bumps you forward, and you have 2 of them. She is well balanced, so B tier. Reina is good for people that don't care about their teammates and all just goes for kills. She is only good for some situations. She has a blind which can be destroyed, and she has 2 abilities which you need to kill an enemy to use. One ability heals you and the other makes you faster and invulnerable to damage for a few seconds, and her ultimate makes you shoot, reload, pull out your guns faster. And she insta-heals when she kills an enemies while using ultimate. Her ultimate makes it so you can use the invulnerable move infinitely, and if you use it you go completely invisible for a few seconds. Overall she is not good for 1v1s because you need a kill to use most of her abilities, but is good for killing enemies, but she almost provides no support for the team, so B tier. Sage is B tier because she can revive teammates, heal herself and her teammates, throw a projectile that makes a small AoE where if you walk on it you'll be slowed. This applies to everyone including her and her team, and she can make a barrier that people can break. The barrier can boost herself up to higher places. Overall B tier. Skye in my opinion is arguably the best agent in the same. She like Phoenix, Gecko, Sage and Cypher. She can heal, flash, control animals, and find enemies' locations. Sad thing is she can't heal herself. Skye can clear out a whole site by controlling her dog, and when she's successfully blind she says blinded, so you know if you can rush in. So no doubt S tier. Sova is a tier. He is like Cypher but more aggressive. He can scan enemies by shooting a dart. He has a drone that he can mark like Cypher's camera. He can shoot a dart to do small shot damage, and his ultimate hits enemies with a big fat AoE, and the ultimate can go through walls, so a tier. Viper is S tier because she has poison abilities that deals a lot of damage. She has a projectile that shoots out a splash of poison, and she can make a toxic wall that can go through walls and is manually activated and does damage, and she can throw a projectile that makes a toxin kind of in a bubble and you can manually activate it. Her ultimate covers a whole site with poison, and enemies who enter it health will decay until it reaches 1 horsepower. She needs to stay in her ultimate zone to maintain. If her manually activated abilities have a poison limit and she requires math knowledge, she is really good, so S tier. Yoru is really skillful. He has a decoy, he can teleport, he can flash, and he can run invisibly. His teleport makes him drop a orb that he can manually teleport to, and he only has 1 clone. His ultimate ability to run invisibly is useful because he knows if enemies are somewhere, and he can use his abilities like flash and decoys, but he can't shoot his gun. When Yoru is near the enemy screen will appear sparkling blue, so if you have a big brain Yoru will be very good. I tier. Thank you for watching this video. Some AI voice were faster than the other is because I recorded this video without thinking what to say, so I had to make it faster so it would fit in. Some words didn't make sense too because AI is kinda weird. And also I haven't made a video in a while, but thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe anyways. Peace. I might leave for another year now.